What up, YouTube? It's your boy Vic NYC82. Today we got another watch review video, and we're taking a look at this guy right here. This is the Glycine Airman World Timer. It's a GMT, pretty cool watch. Before we get into this review, just want to remind you guys, if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also follow my Facebook page. I do put a lot of updates about upcoming content on that. So if you like the content, follow that, and you'll stay up to speed on things. So with that said, let's get into this review. So guys and girls, this is the Glycine Airman World Timer GMT. This is the 46 millimeter model. Matter of fact, this one is model number GL0059. There's a lot of different variations of this watch out there. This is the one that I like, the size and everything. It was just the one that called out to me. A little bit about Glycine, for those of you who may have never heard of them. Glycine was founded in 1914. They are based in Switzerland. In 1953, they debuted the Airman line of watches, which featured a 24-hour analog dial and rotating bezels. This watch was worn a lot by military and commercial pilots, worn by the Air Force pilots in Vietnam. It was worn by astronaut Pete Conrad on the Gemini 5 mission. Glycine themselves, they've been owned by the Invicta group since 2016. But so far, Invicta's only involvement with the company is in distribution and marketing strategies. So we haven't seen too many radical changes in designs, as far as Invicta goes with these line of watches, which, some say that's a great thing. I personally think that's a great thing because, don't get me wrong, I'm not an Invicta hater, but Invicta has a lot of crazy designs out there. Their watches are just ridiculously huge most of the time. Like I said, I own a couple of Invictas, but I own pretty much just a couple different pro divers, and none of those, like some of their watches are like tuna cans on your wrist. But I'm not an Invicta hater. I said I own a couple. I just think some of their designs are a little out there. But it's great that they've just kind of just left Glycine on their own, and they're only involved with the marketing. We'll see how long that lasts, but it's been since 2016, so maybe it's a good sign. But let's get into this watch now. So like I stated, this is a 46 millimeter watch. You do get a sapphire crystal, 24 millimeter bandwidth. This 12 millimeter stick. It's a pretty big watch. You get 20 meters of water resistance. They do use super luminova on this, so the lume is actually really good. This one in particular, you only get a date complication right here at the 3 o'clock position, and it is a screw down crown. It is signed. This right here, this is not a crown. This is a lock. You unscrew this and you're able to move your bezel. Pretty cool, right? You get your bezel to where you want it and you set it. You lock it, doesn't move. It's not a clicking bezel. It's just a free roaming, and it does have some resistance. It's not like it just spins freely. I honestly think that if you don't lock this, it'll probably not move. You do get hand winding with this watch. You just unscrew the crown, you start winding it up, and you feel it. 2 positions, 1, 2. Now, here's the funny thing: when you go to set this watch, like you want it back in the first position, it's almost like pushing a button. You don't really feel it go back in. So telling the time on this thing. So when you first get this watch, it could be a little confusing. I know it took me a couple days to really figure it out after watching a bunch of different tutorials and stuff. So even though you see 24 hours inside the dial, each of the indices, this is your local time. This is a 12-hour clock, these dots. These are your 12 hours. So this is how you're telling your local time. You see, so mine is actually off time right now. Let's see what time it is. It's almost midnight. So if I wanted to put this on midnight, I'll put it out to the second position, and I got it on midnight. Now, if you didn't notice, the GMT hand, even though it moved, it didn't move with the hour hand. It moves a lot slower. So you see the 24-hour markings. You only get 2 they're in numbers of 2, variables of 2, I should say. In between each indice, there's a notch, there's a line there. So this would go from 24 or 00, as we would call it, say in the military, we call it balls. Anyway, for those of us with mature minds. From there, there's a little tick there. That would be my 0, 100 position. Now, if I wanted to make a 0, 100 on my GMT, I may have set it too far in. Yeah, you see it skip, right? So the GMT arm, it just skips on every hour. And now it's on 1 o'clock. It'll be 01 on the GMT bezel. On the the inner GMT bezel, because this one you can also track another time zone with it. So what I was doing in New York City right now is just past midnight. So I like to track West Coast time because I have family in Vegas. So I would set this, so it's midnight here. That means in Vegas, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm put it too far in. There we go. I'll set this to 2100, which that's Vegas time. My one complaint about this is that the GMT arm, even it does skip the hour, but sometimes it's a little, like, I don't know if you notice right there, it's kind of a little finicky sometimes. So I don't know if maybe this quality issue with my particular watch, but yeah, that's something I wish they would refine. And now, as you see, I have it at 2100. This is West Coast time on the dial, midnight New York City time. Oh, by the way, this does hack, so you see the second hand started moving once I set it. So yeah, it's just after midnight. It's 001 in the morning, and now I have it set. So now I know it's just after midnight New York City. Vegas time is just after 9 p.m. Now the outer dial, the bezel itself, I had this set to Guam time. Why Guam? Because I lived on Guam for a few years. I have family there, and I like to know what time it is in case I decide to call somebody there. Guam is very far ahead. So in Guam right now, it would be just after 1400. Now you see, if it was here in this little notch, that's 1300. So the bezel will work the same way as the dial. And I hope I'm explaining this clearly, because some people do have problems understanding this watch. Like I said, it took me a little bit to figure it out. But once I did, I'm just absolutely love this watch. It is so useful and practical. Yeah, great watch. I actually didn't set it back in, but it's just past midnight. So yeah, now once you get it all set to where you want it, push the buttons. If, like I said, when you push the crown back in, it kind of feels like a button. And just push it all the way in. You'll hear the clicks, and screw it down. It's nice and tight, screw down. And that's it. I have it set. So in here, I know it's just past midnight, New York City time. It's just past 9 p.m. West Coast Pacific time. And in Guam, right here, I know it's just past 1400. Great watch, especially if you're someone that does a lot of traveling. This thing is awesome, because I know for me, I'll travel, and sometimes I do go far, I do go abroad. I never have to reset my watch. You know, I'll leave it there, and what I'll do is I'll set my bezel to wherever I'm traveling to, and that way I just know what time it is where I'm at. I mean, that's great. You know, the less messing around you have to do with the watch, the better it is for you to handle. But yeah, that's an explanation of how to operate this watch. And I hope that I made it a little understandable for those of you who are thinking about getting it or have it and don't quite understand how to operate it. But once you figure it out, you will absolutely fall in love with this thing. This is a great piece. It's also a very beautiful watch. I mean, even the back, you can see you got the exhibition case back. There is like a plane here with the Glycine logo. Nice. It's got a nice polish on it. Even the leather feels great. You guys know I'm not a leather band guy, but this one, when I got it, I was expecting to like be like, yeah, let me go find a NATO, but when I put this on for the first time, this was just like, wow, this is a great strap. I absolutely fell in love with it. Super comfortable, super light. Even for a watch that's 46 millimeters, this is not a very heavy watch. So it's very comfortable to wear for long term. But let me give you guys some looks on wrist, and you guys see how. So this is what the Airman looks like on wrist. Once again, let me remind you guys, this is a 46 millimeter watch. It's not little, but as you can see, it does have sort of a slim profile. So it doesn't wear that big. You know, it's a decently sized watch. You know, like I always say, I don't have the biggest wrist in the world, but even on my wrist, it doesn't look out of place. And I think if you're not a very big guy, you have little wrists or average size wrists, you could definitely get away with them wearing this. And the watch itself, you know, it's not too sporty looking. I don't know about wearing it with a suit, but you could probably get away with wearing this in the office, you know, shirt and tie situation, and it won't look that out of place. This is just a very beautiful piece. Like I said, I own a couple Glycine watches. I have a Combat Sub Chrono. That's also a very nice watch. A little bulkier than this, not as it's a little sportier too, and it's also not as big in diameter. It's a little smaller of a watch. But this has been the Glycine Airman GMT. This is my review of it. These are my personal thoughts and opinions. With that said, let me give you guys my final thoughts. So guys and girls, in closing, the Glycine GMT World Timer. I absolutely love this watch. I adore this watch. I wear it often. It probably gets the most use out of all my watches. Glycine as a whole, they put out great products. I have no complaints. I own a couple Glycine watches, and even with Invicta owning them, I know Invicta gets a bad reputation for putting out crap. Me personally, I don't hate Invicta. I own some Invicta pieces, not, you know, none of the crazy ones, but I think Invicta puts out a decent product also. But the Glycine, great watch. And you know, for someone like myself that does travels often, you know, you couldn't go wrong with the World Timer. The ability to track 3 time zones, you could just always leave your watch in your home time. You don't have to worry about setting it back up. I think that's a great feature, and that's probably why I wear this watch a lot, because, you know, I'm always out, I'm always going somewhere. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too much. If you're in the market for a higher end, you know, but still affordable watch, you can't go wrong with this. They do come in smaller sizes, so just, you know, shop around, look around a little bit. You'll find one to your liking. That's going to be the end of this one, guys and girls. With that said, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow the Facebook page, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Hey YouTube, it's your boy Vic NYC82. If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little warning bell so you know every time I put a new video up. Peace.